Shifting track, 7 people, including 2 lawyers, have been sentenced to death by a Chennai court recently. While 2 others, in fact, have been sentenced to life imprisonment in the case of a brutal murder of a Chennai doctor back in 2013. Now, neurologist Dr. Subbiah was murdered 8 years ago over a case of property dispute. The doctor had been attacked with a machete when he had stepped out of the hospital, and the brutality was caught on CCTV cameras. As per cops, the murder was primarily over a property dispute with a family based out of Kanyakumari. Now, others apparently had joined the conspiracy for gain. The prime accused in the case was absconding for almost 5 years and surrendered in 2018, while one of the accused later turned into an approver. Let me go across to my colleague Mugilan, who's joining me on this. Mugilan, this is a very shocking, a very sensational case and a very rare instance where 7 people have in fact been sentenced to death by a Chennai court.
The city sessions court have sentenced 7 to death and 2 to double to life sentence in the 2013 Dr. Subbiah murder case. As you rightly said, Dr. Subbiah, who was walking out of a private hospital, was hacked in a broad daylight right outside the hospital, and he was stabbed at least in 20 times. Then the police took up the investigation, and at the end of the completion of the trial, so far the government counsel who appeared for this case have produced 57 witnesses and 213 document and the other evidence to the sessions court. And following that, now all the 9 has been found guilty, and 7 has been sentenced to death, and 2 has been sentenced double life sentence by the sessions court. And one, Ayyappan, as a school teacher, has been let off without charges as he turned approval. And yes, this was a sensational case in 2013, and police also were looking into various evidences to zero in the convicts, and then they accused, then they found it was a handiwork of the family members over a land dispute in Kanyakumari district. And very interestingly, several advocates have colluded with the family members to finish off this Dr. Subbiah here in Chennai, and most of the advocates who have been convicted have joined the family members for gain in this property, is what we're getting to hear from the government advocate also. So after giving enough evidence to prove the sessions court that these are the people who are involved in this crime, now the sessions court have pronounced their sentence, and in this sentence 7 has been sentenced to death, 2 has been sentenced to double lifetime, and 1 has been let off. And yes, this even this being a sentence that has been given by the city sessions court, and it has to be confirmed by the Madras High Court.
That's right. The order now has to be confirmed by the Madras High Court. That's the next legal step in this matter. Mugilan, thank you so much for joining us with that.